Right, so start off doing this one by doing it unordered and then put it in ordered. So draw in your line for your unordered and sort of do a copy of what you see below. And then look for your tens. So you've got 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. So 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100, which you put as a 10. So then you've got 67, 78, 79, 98, 96, 103, 75, 85, 94, 92, 61, 80, the last line 82, 86, 90, 95, 90 again and 89. So now you go to the ordered, so you write in your digits as you did before, and now put them in order. So 1 and 7, 3, 8 and 9, 0, 2, 5, 6, 9. The last one on the 90s, you've got 2 zeros, you can cross them off if you like, and you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and finally 3. Now, there were 20 measures. Now, checking my numbers, I can see that I've only got 17 numbers instead of 18, and I'm looking back and I can see that I've actually missed that 5 out, so I'll squeeze that 5 in here, and there is the ordered stem and leaf. Now, the median, you've got 18 scores, so the median will be halfway between the 9th and the 10th scores. So look for the 9th and 10th, so I'll highlight those. So the 9th score is 86, and the 10th score is 89, so halfway between 86 and 89 will be the median. So that's a gap of 3, so half of 3 is 1.5, so we're looking for 87.5. So expand your brackets, so you get 3 times x plus 3 times 4, which is 12, you get 5 times 2x, which is 10x, 5 times 1, which is 5. So 3x and 10x is 13x, 12 and 5 is 17. So the next one, remember that you've got to add these powers together, and so you're simply looking for t to the power 10, and with division it's the opposite, we do 8 subtract 5, which is 3. That's the answer to question 14. So compound interest question, so we've got £6,200. We're going to earn 2.5%, so to increase by 2.5%, we multiply by 1.025, and we raise that to the power 3 for the 3 years that it's been invested for. We now use a calculator. So you can see that I've put the calculator display onto the screen. If we do this to the nearest, say, 2 decimal places to give pounds and pennies, then we're going to have £6,676, and the decimals will be 0.72 for the pennies. So with mean from our frequency table, we need our midpoints. We call that x. So our midpoint of 120 and 130 is 125. 130 and 140 is 135. 145. Keep an eye that their intervals are the same every time, which they appear to be 155 and 165. We now need to use a calculator to multiply 8 times 125. So 8 times 125 is 1,000, 16 times 135, 2160, 25 times 145, 3625, and then the other totals are 4650 and 3465. I'm working out the mean. I'll do the median after I've done the mean. So I now need the total of the fx column, so I'll do that next, which comes to 14,900. Now we need to find the mean. We do 14,900 divided by 100, and that's fairly easy, as that will be 149. You can do that on a calculator if you like, but 14900, 100 goes in 149 times. So that will give us 3 marks for that part of the question. The median will be the 50th score. So we've got to find which interval the 50th score is in. Well, you've got 8 in the first, 8 and 16, you've got 24 up to 140. 24 and 25 is 49 scores, so you're going to find that the 50th score then is going to be in that interval, 150 less than or equal to h less than 160. Now I'll leave you to plot yourselves. It's quite difficult for me to place this on the iPad, but you need to plot 6.1, so you need to sort of come in at 6.1 and plot that with 32, so it's going to be sort of around there. That's probably not exactly right, but on a bigger piece of paper it should be easy to do that. The type of correlation you've got, while it's going up like that, so that is positive. Now in February of this year, Mr. Wither sold 40 umbrellas, so estimate the rainfall for February. So if you come across from 40 into sort of the middle of the crosses, then an estimate anywhere between sort of 7 to 7.5 would be fine. So we've got an equilateral triangle, and we've got to find out angle x. So on an equilateral triangle, all the angles are 60. And the angle x then is on a straight line, so we know that 60 plus x equals 180, so x equals 120. So the reasons are 60, because it's equilateral, and then a straight line rule. Straight line gives 60 plus x equals 180. And that'll do. So the classic questionnaire question, right, two things that are wrong. Well, first of all, in the statement, he wants to find out how many people's, how many DVDs do you buy? Well, that will vary according to whether it's in a week, a month, or time. So we normally say no time period, and you can either say given or specified. No time period given. Maybe that's an easier word to understand. And secondly, you've got some overlaps. There's quite a few of them actually, like overlapping intervals. So we can write overlapping intervals. Also, you don't have the full range not covered. So what I mean by that, full range, where does 0 go? Where does 21 plus go? So any two of those three will get you the answer. So I've shown you exactly how to enter this calculation into your calculator. The crucial thing here is that you use brackets. It says write down all the digits from your calculator. So assuming you put the brackets in the right place, you'll simply write down 28.38. In fact, I've moved that there, get the pen. So it's just a simple copying exercise off your calculator. 23.461538. Now to round it to one significant figure, it's going to be 20 to one significant figure, it's not going to be 20 at all. Then we just have to look at the most significant figure, which is the tens. But you're basically at 28. Is that nearer to 20 or to 30? Well, it's closer to 30. You can't write 3, you must write 30, because that number is close to 30. The 0 is there for what's called place value. So to one significant figure, I almost did it to one decimal place, but one significant figure, the answer is 30. Okay, so to do this question, you need to know the formula for the area of a circle, which is the area equals pi times the radius squared. So the area will be pi times 5 squared. So we'll quickly get our calculator to find the answer. Which the three significant figures, that just means you put three numbers in and make sure you round correctly. Well, it was 78.53 that you'll see on your calculator, so if I round that to three significant figures, that would be 78.5. The fourth significant figure was not over 5, so you leave it at 78.5. So, surface area, so we'll start with the triangles, where you've got the triangle at the front. There's two of them, so you're going to get a half times 2, it's two triangles, half because it's a triangle, half times 2 times 8 times 15. So the half times 2 will cancel out and you'll get 8 times 15 is 120. Now you've got three rectangles. You've got the back, you've got the slope, and then you've got the base. Now all of those rectangles have a width of 10. So you can do it like this, you can do it 10 times, and then you take the three other dimensions, which are 8 plus 15 plus 17. It's a bit of a shortcut method. You would have had 10 times 8 for the back. You would have had 10 times 17 for the slope, and you'd have had 10 times 15 for the base. But you can do it all in one go. Now 8 and 15 is 23, and 17 is 30, so you've got 10 times 30, which is 300. And so you've got 300 for the rectangles, 120 for the triangles, so altogether your surface area is 420 centimetres squared. Volume of a prism, so we simply take the area of the cross section, which is the area of the triangle, so that will be 1/2 times 3 times 4, which will be 6, so we've got 6 centimetres squared for the cross section, and we've got to do our 6 centimetres squared times the length of consistency, which is 20 centimetres, so this comes out as 120 centimetres cubed. So, ingredients question, the cheese pie for 6 people, and Bill wants to make a cheese pie for 3 people. Well, that's half as much, so how much flour would he need? Half as much flour, so we need half of the flour that you used for 6. The flour we used for 6 was 180 grams, so half of 180 is 90. And the second part of the question, Jenny wants to make a cheese pie for 15 people. So 6 to 15, you should realise that is times 2.5. Now 6 plus 3 equals 15. So if we take the milk that was originally used, which is 160, we've got to add another 160, and then half again, which is 80. So that comes to 400 millilitres altogether, 400 millilitres. You can say it's times 2.5, and you can say that 160 times 2.5 is 400. I kind of like doing it, add it on and then add half on. That's quite a simple way of doing that question. Tree diagram. So first of all, I've got to fill in the diagram. Probably that Tom passes his test is 0.8, so probably that he will fail it is 0.2, because either you pass or fail. For Sam, not quite so good pass rate, 0.6, so point of failing is 0.4, and it will be the same whether Tom has passed or failed. We have to then work out probably that both Tom and Sam will pass the driving test. So if we fill in the branch at the end, Tom passing is 0.8, and if we want Sam to pass as well, we must multiply, so that's 0.8 times 0.6, which is 0.48. So the answer to that part of the question is 0.48. Now the second part says work out probably that only one of them will pass the driving test. Well, there's 2 ways this can be done. We'd have Tom passing, Sam failing, which is 0.8 times 0.4, which is 0.32. But it could be the other way around. It could be that Tom fails, which is 0.2, times Sam passing, which is 0.6. 0.2 times 0.6 comes to 0.12. So as both these conditions give us what we want, we have to add them together. So it's either Tom passing, Sam failing, or Tom failing, Sam passing. So you add 0.32 and 0.12 together, and the answer is 0.44. So we've got a population of 1,000, and we want a sample of 50 from that 1,000. We want to get the proportional number of 14-year-olds in the sample. So the way to do that is to take the number of 14-year-olds altogether in the sample out of the sample size and times that by 50. Now, if it's on a calculator paper, which this is, you can simply do that with your calculator. Or you could cross out some of your noughts like this. So I've got 18 times 5 over 10. And my 5 will go into my 10 twice. I've got 18 over 2. So the answer is 9, but you could have worked that out with your calculator. Final question then in this practice test. First of all, we've got 18 of the sweets are toffee, 12 of the sweets are mince. Write down the ratio of toffees to mince in the simplest form. Well, to start with, we've got 18 to 12, but we should realise dividing each number by 6 will get the simplified ratio of 3 to 2. Second part of the question, there are some oranges and apples in a box. The total number of oranges and apples is 54. We're going to split them into the ratio 1 to 5, so we've got 54 in the ratio 1 to 5. So there are 6 parts altogether, so 1 share will equal 54 divided by six shares altogether, which is 9. How many apples will there be? Well, the apples is the larger share. Apples, you've got 5 shares, so each share is worth 9. So there will be 45 apples altogether in the box.